Donald Trump has confirmed that a meeting is being arranged between himself and Russian President Vladimir Putin. While the exact timeline remains unclear, Trump emphasised the need to end the Russia-Ukraine war, calling it a bloody mess. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has stated that no formal request of talks have been made yet, but Putin is open to the idea. Trump has long promised to seek peace in Ukraine, though he has not put forward specific proposals. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has suggested that Trump's leadership could help bring an end to the war. Trump's stance on NATO and military aid to Ukraine continues to raise questions as he prepares to take office. We'll first go to our correspondent, Aditya Wadwan. Aditya, we know, of course, during Trump's first presidency that there was some form of relationship with Vladimir Putin. Do you think this is a continuation of that, or do you think that this is a real effort from him to make sure that the war between Russia and Ukraine ends as soon as possible?
Well, Tom, Josh, at this moment, Trump has been saying that, that once he takes the office on 20th January, he would bring an end to all the wars, be it the war of Israel-Hamas or be it of Russia-Ukraine. And he has been consistently saying that once he takes the office, he will end the Russia-Ukraine war that has been going unabated for the last 2-3 years. So now it needs to be seen as to what steps does the Trump administration takes place. This could be that meeting with Vladimir Putin could be one of the steps towards ending the war. But at this point of time, what are the modalities of the talks? What are the key points that Donald Trump will have with his Russian counterpart is yet to be known. But some time back we had also seen that Vladimir Putin had said that he is ready to talk to Trump and is ready to make compromises on this Ukraine war on the position of strength, but not on weaknesses. But at the same time, he's also been retaliating to the Ukrainian drone strike. He has been attacking Ukrainian cities and many other cities like Kyiv and Kharkiv. So it needs to be seen from where this process, where will this finally end? There might be a possibility where there might have some backdoor meetings might have happened. Backdoor calls or meetings might have happened between Trump and Vladimir Putin. Yes, Josh, back to you in the studio.
We'll now go to Alex Izzat, a journalist from London. Alex, I'd like to ask you about Vladimir Putin's intentions in these conversations. He has, of course, spoken about ending the war, but there has always been a caveat that this would come with concessions from Ukraine. Do you think Putin's intentions can be trusted, and what might those concessions be?
It's an interesting question, really, because obviously when he did say that the only way he would end the war was to keep the places that he had been occupied already, that doesn't seem to have changed very much. But when you look at Kyiv and the Kremlin, they are losing a lot of money, and it would be in Putin's potential interest to actually stop the war itself, to call some kind of ceasefire, because the country, Russia, is losing the money, it's losing people, and he doesn't think that this would go on as long as it has. And he does feel like he does need to save face at the moment. What he wants from Trump and what he wants from Ukraine may well be that he wants the land that he's currently occupying, and he looks to get more land because he's still moving forward throughout Ukraine at the moment as we speak. But what Donald Trump might then put it in place is that he'll have a discussion with both the leaders of Ukraine and Russia as well to look at how they can work together, how they can use some of the resources that are on the land in Ukraine, because that's what it comes down to, isn't it? When it's looking to what kind of benefits that Donald Trump, Putin and Zelensky can move forward with this ceasefire. But ultimately, can Putin be trusted? Well, at the moment, he has been very forthright in what he wants, and that is the land that he occupies. He hasn't really changed or moved on that. So it will be a case for that discussion to see if he is movable and if he will save face a bit and stop the war sooner.
We are also joined by Glenn Grant, former advisor to Defence Minister of Ukraine, who's joining us from Latvia. Glenn Grant, in terms of the perception of this conversation in Ukraine, do you think this is a necessary step that needs to happen in order for Trump to play a part in ending the war? Or is this potentially being seen as a strengthening of the alliance between the US and their incoming president and Vladimir Putin and Russia?
Oh, that is a very
Hello, Glenn.
it's
Do you mind repeating the start of your answer there for us? We just lost you.
okay. Sorry, I said that that is a very challenging question because Trump is not being absolutely clear about things, and the distractions over Canada and Greenland, which you might actually say help Putin, just muddy the waters in a long way. I'm not sure I agree with Alex completely about whether Putin can be trusted, because I don't believe he can. I don't think he's going to go back on what he wants, for the simple reason I'm not sure that the army will let him. He's let loose the Rubicon, cross the Rubicon in Russia himself, and that there are an awful lot of people who now want to see this war taken to its ultimate conclusion of Ukraine being taken back under Russia ownership. So I don't think that Trump has got many cards in his hand that are good enough yet to actually to sway Putin.
We're also joined by Dr. Sergei Dvoranyov, Director of Communication on the BCMF BRICS Culture Media Forum. Thank you for joining us, Sergei. Looking at this from a Russian perspective, how do you think Putin will want to move forward with this war? His aim, of course, was to take Ukraine in a shorter amount of time. There is acknowledgement that the war has taken longer than expected. Ukraine haven't fallen, but is this potentially a sign of weakness from Vladimir Putin? Or do you think this is potentially a way in which he can move forward with his new aims, which are to control the areas, as Alex mentioned, which are currently under Russian occupation?
Thank you for this question. Good evening. First of all, I want to start with the explanation of mindset of Donald Trump, because during his previous presidency, 4 years, America was not involved in any war. Even he started to remove this military from Afghanistan. He's peacemaker inside his heart, deeply. That is his mindset. And regarding the weakness of Vladimir Putin, I cannot tell this. I think that Vladimir, our national leader, is the most strongest and most dedicated to his nation political leader. And regarding the conversation, dialogue with Donald Trump, of course, it can be very open, and it's actually needable not only for the Russia and America and Ukraine, it's needable for all the planet. It's a dialogue between West and East, and I don't think that we will move to any other conditions which already was announced. Most important conditions of the dialogue and peacemaking dialogue in Ukraine, first of all, is Russian land which already joined to Russia. It's according to the Russian constitution, of our constitution, eastern part of to our country. It was actually choice and will of the nations. They will join. Second most important, it's about the Nazism. Nazism. We start this spec operation because according to definition, official definition, is not a war. We not start this war. It was Ukraine who started to punish and put the aggressive action against eastern part of Ukraine, against Russian population actually. That's why spec operations start, because we need, in the 21st century, we need to finish this Nazi movement. It's anti-human, it's not acceptable on any level, political level, human level. That's why second condition, it should be some legal law in Ukraine where they will put that any Nazi movement groups, symbols, not allowed at all in this country. We should stop it, finish. And second, the last one is my very important condition, which Vladimir Putin, I think so, already announced. It's Ukraine should be not a part of NATO. It's very simple, as simple as this. It's very simple. With these conditions, of course, Russia is very open to the dialogue. And again, I want to repeat my words, is that it will be beneficial not only for Ukraine, not only for Russia, even for all the planet, because we should start with new, we can say mission, spiritual mission, to start our dialogue on the condition of human level.
Sergei, apologies to cut you off. We are out of time. Thank you also to Glenn and to Alex for joining us.